Pokemon has been in a rough place for quite a few years at this point. With every single game release, there's a lot of criticism surrounding it because it just seems that they've gotten quite lazy with each iteration that releases. But now, instead of actually focusing on the quality of their work and making consumers happy, it seems that the Pokemon Company International has posted job listings for a director of DEI and social responsibility. I have a few things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, follow me on social media, and consider supporting through Patreon or through YouTube membership. So we are hearing about yet another company hiring for a ridiculous position, a position that shouldn't even exist. This is a Bounding into Comics article. It says, in sadly confirming that the heralds behind the beloved video game franchise are not among the many Japanese individuals who have found themselves rejecting environmental, social, and governance-based investment sensibilities, a newly posted job listing has revealed that the Pokémon Company International is now seeking a new Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion and Social Responsibility. I have not seen a single company that has hired one of these positions to come out and say that it was successful, that it ended up being worth the money, that it was like a step in the right direction for them. We're constantly hearing about DEI-based positions like this, people getting fired, people being laid off, and of course, people just not making any real difference at the company. You know, the problem, right, is that these companies are hiring individuals for these positions to look like they're making a change, to look like they're good, but it's just virtue signaling in the end, because what are they really going to do? Make sure that there's not more white people being hired at the company? That's all that it really boils down to. Yes, in some cases, we see also content in games changed, but let's be honest, over the past couple of years, with the few iterations of Pokemon games that have come out, like Scarlet Violet, Sword and Shield, there have been, you know, NPCs in the game that are of color. It's not like every single one is a white person. So they're already, you know, looking at a game series that has diversified. It's too bad that they're not putting more money into the products that they're creating instead of, you know, putting their money into these useless positions. It says, per the listing itself, the eventual hire for this position will be tasked with facilitating and promoting the Pokemon Company International, the US subsidiary of the larger Japan-based The Pokemon Company, global culture of innovation, diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. So bullshit, bullshit, and bullshit. It says, this role will ensure that the core elements of the TPCI culture are well defined and ever present to employees, highlighting engagement as an essential component to a positive, diverse, inclusive, and high-achieving environment. So basically, they're just another HR position, but why do you need more than one at that point? You already have an HR. You already have that, so why are you hiring yet another person who in a year and a half or 2 years is most likely going to be let go because they did nothing for this company? It's just when consumers see this now, we cringe, we visibly cringe, and we go, they did not need this. Pokemon has gone woke, and then that whole entire conversation surrounds the company, and that is not good for a company now, because people will steer clear from your products if your company seems to not actually be focused on making a positive change for consumers. In addition to these standard position duties, the eventual hire will also find themselves responsible for driving alignment of DEI goals with business strategy for both internal employees, external fans, and communities we serve. In other words, making sure that DEI remains a focus of not just TPCI's own operations, but their approach to interacting with players and fans. Now, of course, this didn't really come as a surprise to me, and I'm sure a lot of you, because this type of position is not uncommon in the modern corporate landscape, and it's not even the first type of position at the company, as evidenced by the jobs listing specification that the desired director would be reporting to the company's overall chief diversity, equity, and inclusion officer. So they actually silently added one of these because we've never had to talk about the Pokemon Company hiring positions like this, but it says However, what makes this particular listing newsworthy is the fact that given how it was ostensibly posted with some level of approval by the Pokemon Company proper, it indicates that those in charge of the franchise, as noted above, have yet to join Japanese investors in chasing ESG-relating funding sources, many if not all of which put the concept of DEI at the center of their application requirements. It says, as reported by Bloomberg based on information, investors pulled a total of 660 billion yen or $4.5 billion from funds last year, more than 4 times the outflows of 150 billion yen in 2022. And according to Morningstar reports, there were no new ESG products launched between October and December of last year. Now, of course, the next proper Pokemon title set to release, Pokemon Legends A to Z, is currently set to release for the Nintendo Switch sometime in 2025, but it's definitely not a good look for Pokemon, and of course it has a lot of us worried for Japanese entertainment in general. The reason why a lot of Japanese entertainment does so well in the West currently is because they are rejecting ESG investments and modernity. They are not focused on making products for the modern audience. Now, of course, within that sphere, there definitely are some who are focused more on that, like Bandai Namco, for example, who's worked with Sweet Baby Inc. now, and we know that for a fact, but a lot of those companies still are not focused overall on the ESG and creating these ridiculous DEI positions, but as they are more focused on global audiences and they are leaning more into, ESG, they are going to push more consumers away. And the kind of rage right now is Korean developers because they are creating extremely attractive fictional characters. They are not putting any sort of political messaging into their products. We, of course, have Vindictus, Defying Fate, we have Stellar Blade. I mean, there's tons of games that are coming out by Korean developers now and in the future that people are extremely excited for because they are not focused on ESG investments, but it definitely makes me even more worried that one of the outlets we've been looking towards, which is Japanese entertainment, could be and is starting to be infected in ways that, made us turn away from Western companies. It's always sad to hear a company you've trusted in the past who makes games you absolutely love go in this direction, and it does seem like the Pokemon Company is going woke. I will, of course, be keeping my eye on this situation over the next few weeks and months to see who they actually hire as the Director of DEI and Social Responsibility, but if I was them, I would be focusing on the quality of my games so that more consumers do not be pushed away, because now I know that a lot of people are no longer going to be supporting the Pokemon Company and the next Pokemon games to release. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.